9 reasons why people get old. 1. Errors appear in DNA. Aging causes genetic errors to appear. When DNA is replicated, it might not always be copied correctly. Parts of the genetic code get misspelled. Sections may be accidentally inserted or deleted. The genetic code is a cell's instruction manual. As errors build up, they can wreak havoc that could break down the cell and even make it turn cancerous. 2. Gene expression goes haywire. Certain parts of our DNA are expressed as physical traits. A group of proteins in our cells controls which genes get expressed. All cells use the same set of DNA, but it's expressed differently. As we age, the proteins bound to DNA become less accurate. Some necessary proteins aren't being made. Harmful unnecessary proteins proliferate. 3. Telomeres get shorter. Each strand of DNA is capped by a telomere. The telomere keeps the chromosomes from fraying. Every time cells divide, the tips become shorter. When the telomeres are lost, chromosomes become unstable. As a result, they can't replicate correctly. 4. Proteins become less stable and accurate. In our cells, proteins are produced constantly. They control almost every function inside the cell. They move materials, carry signals, and turn processes on and off. They also provide structural support for the cell, but proteins have to be recycled regularly. They lose their effectiveness over time. As we age, our bodies lose the ability to eliminate old proteins. These unusable proteins can build up and become toxic. 5. Cells don't die when they're supposed to. Damaged cells sometimes stop dividing. They become resistant to death, turning into zombie cells. Zombie cells can infect others in their vicinity. This spreads inflammation throughout the body. These cells are also called senescent cells. Senescent cells accumulate with time and age. 6. Mitochondria become inefficient. Mitochondria produce energy in cells. They convert oxygen and nutrients into power. With age, mitochondria deteriorate. Dysfunctional mitochondria can produce an altered form of oxygen. It causes damage to DNA and proteins. 7. Metabolism becomes imbalanced. Cells adapt to the amount of available nutrients. With age, it becomes more difficult for them. They fail to detect the amount of glucose or fat in the body. Some fats and sugars don't get properly processed. Aging cells accumulate an excessive amount of fats. This can affect the insulin and IGF-1 pathway. This is why age-related diabetes is fairly common. 8. Tissue renewal stops. Almost all tissues renew to some extent, but the rate of renewal becomes slower with aging. It's part of the reason why tissue damage accumulates. Stem cells have the ability to become different types of cells. In many tissues, they act as an internal repair system. As we age, stem cells become exhausted and less active. They can't divide as quickly. Tissues that are supposed to get renewed don't renew any longer. 9. Cell communication breaks down. Cells send each other signals through the blood and the immune system. But as our bodies get older, cells become worse at communicating. Some cells become less responsive. This can turn them into senescent cells. Inflammation produced by them further blocks communication. This affects the immune, endocrine, and neuroendocrine systems.